Arani, would you like to sing?
Hare Krishna. Jai Radha Kunja Bihari Gopi Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Yashodhanandana Raja Janarandana
Yashodanandana Raja Jananandana
Yashodhanandana Braja Janarandana.
என்ன சவுண்ட் அதிகமா இருக்கு.
Braja Janarandana
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
அங்கங்க
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
இதுவா இதுவா பண்ணுமா
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare Rama Rama
Rama
Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare
Jai
Hare
Radha
Krishna,
Madhava
Hare
Kunja
Krishna,
Bihari
Krishna Krishna,
Gopi Jana
Hare Hare,
Vallabha
Hare
Girivaradhari.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Jaya Radha.
Hare Krishna. Welcome you all to this special New Year Bhagavad Gita program, where many of you have signed up for reciting verses from Bhagavad Gita chapter 2. Last week we had our Gita Jayanti festival celebrations, and many of you were able to join online and recite with the temple devotees from ISKCON for Indian Hills. But we thought that in our small group, we should also come together and recite at least a chapter maybe. That will be really nice to start our new year with. And the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita is called Contents of Gita Summarized. So it's like a summary of the whole Bhagavad Gita. So I thought it would be really wonderful if we all could chant and also read the English translations to get kind of a summary of the whole Bhagavad Gita. So before we begin, we'll recite our verses to get blessings from our acharyas. So I'll share my screen so we could also recite from where we are. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadhantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saharna Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijna Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvita He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hariye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Everyone
Hare
together.
Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisance. Jai.
Yeah, I got it.
I hope all those who signed up are all ready today to recite and are all waiting to get started. So I'll go ahead and share my screen for the verses. Those who are leading, let them unmute themselves and recite. And the rest of us, we will stay muted and we'll recite along with them from our places. So are we starting with Richa Mataji first?
Yes, Richa Mataji.
Richa Mataji is already there with Vandita and Ishan. Okay. Did you mute me now? Just now?
Just now.
Okay.
Shall I start, Mataji?
So here we go, chapter 2, contents of Gita summarized. So I'll keep Is the font size good enough for everybody to see? Or do you anyone wants me to increase the font?
You can show your thumbs up, maybe we can
Yes
know.
or no?
If
Or
the font
yes?
size is good enough, or
Okay.
you want to make it a little bigger? It's good? Okay.
We are okay.
Sorry. Go ahead, Richa Mataji, please. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
You
Chapter
have to unmute yourself. We don't hear you.
Can you hear me, Mataji?
No,
We can hear you.
we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Oh, so we are the ones who
Okay.
cannot hear. Okay.
Can you hear me, Mataji, now? Hare Krishna, Chapter 2, Contents of the Gita summarized. Sanjaya Uvacha Tam Tatha Kripayavishtam Ashrupurna Kulekshanam Vishidantam Idam Vakyam Uvacha Madhusudanaha Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kutastava Kashmalam Idam Vishme Samupasthitam Anarjushtam Asvargayam Akirtikaram Arjuna Klebhyam ma isma gamah partha netattvaya upapadyate kshudram hriday daurvalyam tyaktvotisht parantapa Arjuna uvacha katham bhishmam aham sankhye dronam cha madhusudana ishubhi pratyotsyami pujarhav arisudana Gurun ahatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum bheksham api haloke hatvartha kamastu gurun iheva bhunjiya bhogan rudhir pragdidan nachetad vidmaha kataranno garyo yadva jayema yadivano jayeyuh यानेव हत्वा न जीविषांसा तेव स्थिताः प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्राः कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः यच्छ्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्य तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम् न हि प्रपश्यामि ममाप्नोद्यात् यच्छोकमुच्छोष्णमिन्द्रियाणाम् अवाप्य भूमाव अस्पत्नं रिद्धं राज्यं सुराणाम् अपि चाधिपत्यम् संजय उवाच एवम् उक्त्वा हृषीकेशं गुडाकेशः परन्तपः न योत्स्य इति गोविन्दम् उक्त्वा तूष्णीं बभूवः तम उवाच हृषीकेशः प्रसन्न इव भारत सेनयोर उभयोर्मध्ये विषीदन्तम् इदं वचः हरे कृष्णा
Okay. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Asochan Anavashochastvam Pranyanvatam Chabashase Gatasun Agatam Sumcha Nanushochanti Pandita Natvevaham Jatunasam Natvam Neme Janadipah Nachaivana Pavishyamaha Sarve Vayamata Param Dehinosmin Yata Dehe Kaumaram Yovanam Jara Tata Dehantara Praptir Tirastatra Namuhyati Mata Sparshastu Kaunteya Shitoshna Sukha Dukkadaha Agamapayino Nityas Tamsitikshasva Bharata Yam hina vyatayantyete Purusham Purushashaba Samadukha Sukham Dhiram Somrita Vaya Kalpate Nasato Vidyate Bhavo नाभावो विद्यते सतः उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्तस् त्वनयोस्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः अविनाशी तु तद्विद्धि येन सर्वमिदं ततं विनाशम् अव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति अन्तवन्त इमे देहा नित्यस्योक्ता शरीरिणः अनाशीनो प्रमेयस्य तस्माद्युध्यस्व भारत य एनं वेति हन्तारं यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम् अबोधो न विजानीतो नायं हन्ति न हन्यते न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्य शाश्वतो यं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे
Tamilvana?
वेद विनाशिनां नित्यं येनं अजमव्ययं कथं स पुरुष पार्थ कं गत्यादिहन्तिहम् वासांसि जीराणि यथा विद्य नवानि गृह्णाति नरो पराणि तथा शरीराणि विद्याय जीराणि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि नैनं चिन्तन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पार्वक न चैनं क्लेद्यान्ति यापो नो सस्याति मारुतः अच्छेदोऽयम् अदेयोऽयम् अक्लेदो सोष्य एव च नित्या सर्वगतस्रानुर् अचल्योऽयं सनातनः अव्यक्तोऽयम् अचिन्त्योऽयम् अविकार्योऽयमुच्यते तस्मादेवं विदित्वैनं न निःशोषितमर्हसि अथा चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि तं महाबाहो नैनं शोषितमर्हसि जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युर्ध्रुवं जन्म मृत्युश्च तस्मादपरिहार्येते न त्वं शोषितमर्हसि अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्तमद्यानि भारत अव्यक्तनिद्यन्ते च तत्र का परिदेवनाम् आश्चर्यवत् पश्यति किश्चितेनम् आश्चर्यवद् वदति तदित्थचन्यम् आश्चर्यवच्चैनम् अन्यः शृणोति श्रुत्वापि एनं वेद न चैव कश्चित् देहि नित्यम् अवध्योऽयं देहि सर्वस्य भारत तस्मत् सर्वाणि भूतानि न त्वं शोषितुमर्हसि
हरे कृष्ण स्वधर्मम् अपि सावीक्ष्य नाविकम्पितुमर्हसि धर्म्यादियुद्धात् श्रेयोऽन्यत् क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते यदृच्छया चोपपन्नं च स्वर्गद्वारम् अपावृतं सुखिनः क्षत्रियाः पार्थ लभन्ते युद्धम् ईदृशम् अतच्छेत्वम् इमं धर्म्यं संग्रामं न करिष्यसि ततः स्वधर्मं कीर्तिं च हित्वा पापम् अवाप्स्यसि अकीर्तिं चापि भूतानि कथयिष्यन्ति ते व्ययाम् सम्भावितस्य चाकीर्तिं मरणात् अतिरिच्यते भयाद्रणादुपरतं मस्यन्ते त्वां महारथाः येषां च त्वं बहुमतो भूत्वा चास्यसि लाघवम् अवाच्यवादांश बहून् वदिष्यन्ति तवाहिताः निन्दन्तस्त्व सामर्थ्यं ततो दुःखतरं नु किम् हतो वा प्राप्स्यसि स्वर्गम् जित्वा वा वोक्ष्यसि महीम् तस्माद् उत्तिष्ठ कौन्तेय युद्धाय कृतनिश्चयः सुखदुःखे समे कृत्वा लाभालाभौ जयाजयौ ततो युद्धाय युज्यस्व नैवं पापम् अवाप्स्यसि एषा ते अभिहिता साङ्ख्ये बुद्धिर्योगे त्विमां शृणु बुद्ध्या युक्तो यया पार्थ कर्मबन्धं प्रहास्यसि नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पम् अप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात् हरे कृष्ण
हरे कृष्ण व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिर् एकेहा कुरु नन्दन बहुशाखा ह्यनन्ताश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनां यामिमां पुष्पितां वाचं प्रपदन्त्यविपश्चितः वेदवादरतः पार्थ नान्यदस्तीति वादिनः कामात्मानः स्वर्गपरा जन्म कर्म फलप्रदां क्रियाविशेषबहुलां भोगैश्वर्यगतिं प्रति भोगैश्वर्यप्रसक्तानां तयापहृतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते त्रैगुण्यविषया वेदा निस्त्रैगुण्यो भवार्जुन निर्द्वन्द्वो नित्यसत्त्वस्थो निर्योगक्षेम आत्मवान् यावानर्ध उदपाने सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भू मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि योगस्थः कुरु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा धनञ्जय सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्यो समो भूत्वा समत्वं योग उच्यते दूरेन ह्यवरं कर्म बुद्धियोगात् धनञ्जय बुद्धौ शरणमन्विश्च कृपणाः फलहेतवः बुद्धियुक्तो जहातीह उभे सुकृतदुष्कृते तस्माद् योगाय युज्यस्व योगः कर्मसु कौशलम् हरे कृष्ण
कर्मजं बुद्धियुक्ता हि फलं त्यक्त्वा मनीषिणः जन्मबन्धविनिर्मुक्ता पदं गच्छन्ति नामयम् यदा ते मोहकालीलं बुद्धिर्व्यतिरिच्यति तदा गन्तासि निर्वेदं श्रोतव्यस्य श्रुतस्य च श्रुतिविप्रतिपन्ना ते यदास्तस्यति निश्चला समाधवचला बुद्धिस्तदा योगम् अवाप्स्यसि अर्जुन उवाच स्थिता प्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्तस्य केशव स्थितादि किं प्रभासेत किम् आसीत व्रजेत किम् श्रीभगवानुवाच प्रजाहाति यदा कामान् सर्वान् पार्थ मनोगतान् आत्मन्येवात्मना तुष्टा स्थितः प्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते दुःखेष्वनुद्विग्नं मनः सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः वीतरागभयक्रोधः स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते यः सर्वत्र नभीष्णेहास्तत्तत्प्राप्य शुभाशुभं नाभिनन्दति न द्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता यदा संहरते चायं कुर्मोद्गनिव सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यस्तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसावर्जं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते यततो ह्यपि कौन्तेय पुरुषस्य विपश्चिता इन्द्रियाणि प्रमाथीनि हरन्ति प्रशभं मनः
तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीद मत्परः वसेहि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता ध्यायदो विषयान् पुंसः सङ्गस्देषु भजायते सङ्गात् सञ्जायते कामः कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् समृद्धिविभ्रमः समृद्धिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति रागद्वेषो विमुक्तैस्तु विषयान्द्रियैश्चरन् आत्मवैश्यैर्विधेयात्मा प्रसादम् अधिगच्छति प्रसादे सर्वदुःखानां हारनिरस्योपजायते प्रसन्नचेतोषव्यासु बुद्धिपर्यवतिष्ठते नास्ति पुत्रयुक्तस्य न शाप्युक्तस्य भावना न सा भवायतः शान्तिराशस्तस्य गुदाशुहम् इन्द्रियाणां हि सरदां यन्मनो अनुविधीयते ददस्य हरति प्रज्ञां वायुर्नावम् इवाम्बसि तस्मात् यस्य महाबाहो निगृहीतानि सर्वषु इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यस्तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता यानि सा सर्वभूतानां दश्यां जागर्ति संयमी यस्यां जागृति भूतानि सा निशो पश्यति मुनेः अपूर्यमानम् अचलप्रतिष्ठं समुद्रमावप्रविष्टयद्वत् तद्वत् कामायं प्रविशन्ति सर्वे शान्तिमाप्नोति न कामकामी विहाय कामन्य सर्वान् पुवांस्रति निःस्पृहः निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः स शान्तिमधिगच्छति एषा प्रामिस्थितिः पार्थ नैनां प्राप्य विमुह्यति स्थितित्वायामन् दहेलति ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं रिच्छति हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna. So now I will put on the translations so we all can understand exactly what Krishna is trying to say in a language that we all understand. So just give me 1 second. Okay. Please start, the first person.
Sanjay said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana Krishna spoke the following words. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets but to infamy. O son of Pratha, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart, and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. Arjuna said, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counterattack with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of my worship? It would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superior. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. I can find no means to drive away this grief which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it, even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth. with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. Sanjay said, having spoken thus, Arjuna, charged of enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. O descendant of Bharata, at the time Krishna, smiling in the midst of both armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna.
Who's next? The next 10.
Ashok Raj.
Yeah.
Rajan uncle.
We are next from 11. Okay, translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. 12. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. The embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age. The soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and all their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, ocean of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. O best among men, which is Arjuna, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is already in both is certainly eligible for liberation. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent, that's the material body, there is no endurance, and of the eternal, which is the soul, there is no change. This they have concluded by studying the nature of both. That which pervades the entire body, you should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. The material body of the indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal living entity is sure to come to an end. Therefore, fight, O descendant of Bharata. Neither who thinks the living entity, the slayer, nor he who thinks it slain is in knowledge. For the self slays not, nor is slain. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Do you want me to continue?
Thank you, Uncle. Sabitra, mute.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Do you hear me? I don't know.
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. I don't see fully the translation part here. I don't see. Maybe I read from my book.
You can use your book, no problem.
Because the screen is covering here, that's why.
Yeah,
I'm reading from text 21. O Partha, how can a person who knows that the soul is indestructible, eternal, unborn, and immutable kill anyone or cause anyone to kill? 22. As a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. 23. The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. 24. This individual soul is unbreakable and insoluble, and can be neither burned nor dried. He is everlasting, present everywhere, unchangeable, immovable, and eternally the same. 25. It is said that the soul is invisible, inconceivable, and immutable. Knowing this, you should not grieve for the body. 26. If, however, you think that the soul or the supreme or the symptoms of life will always be born and die forever, you still have no reason to lament, O mighty armed. 27. One who has taken his birth is sure to die, and after death one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. 28. All created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when annihilated. So what need is there for lamentation? 29. Some look on the soul as amazing, some describe him as amazing, and some hear of him as amazing, while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. And 30, O descendant of Bharata, he who dwells in the body can never be slain. Therefore, you need not grieve for any living beings. Thank you. Hare Krishna, everyone.
31. Considering your specific duty as a Shakti.
Nalini auntie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm reading.
I just saw you a while ago, but I couldn't see you now. Are you there in different name?
No, not, yeah. No, my husband name. Nalini.
Nalini auntie?
Selvakumar Vanagopal is Nalini.
In case if you are speaking, we cannot really hear you.
Oh, you cannot hear me?
We can hear.
We can hear.
We can hear.
Read again.
We can hear.
Yeah.
Considering your
Signed up today? Would like to read today?
She already started reading and we can hear her.
She was starting the verse.
Vinod, were you saying something?
Yeah, I was reading.
We can hear them reading.
Is it only we couldn't hear or everybody couldn't hear?
We could hear.
We can hear.
We can hear.
Okay, we can hear. So Niranjan can hear.
So start now?
So is someone reading?
Yeah,
Who
I'll
is
read again.
somehow I don't know why our computer.
Can I read now? Okay, I will read. Considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles. and so there is no need for hesitation. 32. O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought, opening for them the doors of the heavenly planets. 33. If, however, you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. 34. I need that. Okay. Please, people will always speak of your infamy, and for respectable person, this honor is worse than death. 35. The great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you insignificant. 36. Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What should be more painful for you? 37. Please. O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up with determination and fight. 38. Do thou fight for the sake of fighting, without considering happiness or distress, a loss or gain, victory or defeat, and by so doing you shall never incur sin. 39. Thus far, I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. Now listen as I explain it in terms of working without fruitive results. O son of Partha, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of works. 40. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Thank you.
41. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. Text 42 to 43. Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets, resilient, good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and appealing life, they say that there is nothing more than this. 44. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and the material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. 45. The Vedas deal mainly with the subject of the three modes of material nature. O Arjuna, become transcendental to these three modes. Be free from all dualities and from all anxieties from gain and safety, and be established in the self. 46. All purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. 47. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities. and never be attached to not doing your duty. 48. Perform your duty equipoised, O Arjuna, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga. 49. O Dhananjaya, keep all abominable activities far distant by devotional service, and in that consciousness surrender unto the Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. 50. A man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good and bad reactions even in this life. Therefore, strive for yoga, which is the art of all work.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Happy New Year. 50. Me? By this engagement of great from this work in material. In this way, they be cycle and attain the conscious Godhead. 52. When you're in out of the forest of the you of all that have is too good. Your mind is
Sorry, Gauriji, I'm not able to hear you. So maybe that's why I'm not able to scroll.
Is it the same with everyone, or can everyone can hear?
I can hear
We
you.
cannot hear. We cannot hear, Prabhu.
We cannot also.
I cannot hear either.
Gauriji, none of us are able to hear. Are you reading? Gauriji, could you speak something? We are not able to hear you.
Gauri,
Maybe she can write something in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, if she could put something in the chat, like if you could tell us if you're reading or not. Gauri? Gauri, we don't hear you. Are you still reading? If you could chat, put a message on the chat, we'll know. Or if Urvashi auntie is nearby, please let us know if she's reading or not. We are not able to hear her.
Gauriji, would you like to read an Urvashi auntie's phone? That'd be better if you're nearby. Gauriji, you're on mute now. You can see your
your phone is your device is muted. You have to unmute yourself.
Yes, you're unmuted now. Can you speak up?
Still, we can't hear. Anybody else is able to hear, Gauriji?
No.
No.
Okay.
Gauriji is Urvashi auntie's phone nearby the device that you could join her in reading. Yes, we got a little bit of sound there, but still can't hear you well. Are you speaking?
I'm sorry.
Okay,
It's
there
all
we
right,
go.
yeah.
We are hearing some sound coming now. Could you speak?
Gauriji, still we can't hear you.
The sound is getting cut off.
Yeah. I think Gauriji, would you like me to read it? Or maybe you can try from a different device.
Yeah, for now we'll go ahead and read. If Gauriji, if your voice comes up, then we will stop and we'll let you go ahead.
Okay.
Just for the continuity. Yeah.
53. When your mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas, and when it remains fixed in the trance of self-realization, then you will have attained the divine consciousness. 54. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak? What is his language? How does he sit? And how does he walk? The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. One who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind. In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither prizing it or not despising it, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects, as the tortoise draws its limbs within the shell, is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense objects remains. But ceasing such engagements, by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. The senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination, who is endeavoring to control them.
Madhu, are you ready to read?
Yes, 61. One who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control and fixes his consciousness upon me, is known as the man of steady intelligence. 62. While contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment lust develops, and from lust anger arises. 63. From anger, complete delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost, and when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool. 64. But a person free from all attachment and aversion and able to control his senses through regulative principles of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord. 65. For one thus satisfied in Krishna consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer. In such satisfied consciousness, one's intelligence is soon well established. 66. One who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? 67. As a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, Even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence. 68. Therefore, O mighty armed, one whose senses are restrained from their objects is certainly of steady intelligence. 69. What is night for all beings is the time of awakening of the self-controlled, and the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sage. 70. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like river into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. 71. A person who has given up all desires for sense gratification, whose life's free from desires, who has given up all sense of proprietorship and is devoid of false ego, he alone can attain real peace. Hare Krishna.
More.
Oh, 72.
72.
72. There is the way of the spiritual and godly life, after attaining which a man is not bewildered if one is thus situated even at the hour of death. One can enter into the kingdom of God. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. That ends the Bhaktivedanta purports and the translations to the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Contents of the Gita summarized. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Thank you all. Each one of you did so well. It was amazing to hear the whole shlokas and the translation. We are so blessed in this wonderful Windsor Bhakti Yoga group. Jai. It's almost an hour. Can we believe that? We all had a good time reading the second chapter together. So, is there anybody who would like to throw some light? There's something that you really loved about this second chapter you want to share? Here is your platform.
I think how merciful our spiritual thinking is. Even in the last few minutes, if you change your mind, you're still welcome. What a wonderful philosophy. That's so wonderful. Only Hinduism can think like that. Thank you.
Thank
you
you,
add something to it, Harini, please?
Thank you so much. Like the Lord is always waiting. That's how he's compared to us, our mother and father. They are non-judgmental and they are not looking at our past sins to put us against us. He's just waiting for us. When will you come home? I'm just waiting for you. That's the mercy. That's the kripa. That is our loving Krishna. There we have. This is so nice. Yeah, so I'm going to share. I just thought there is one very scholarly devotee who put all these contents in just 4 letters. We call it acronyms. So he put the whole chapter in 4 letters, which can help us understand, like a quick summary of what is in the, if somebody says, what is Krishna talking in the second chapter, or what is he trying to say in the first chapter? So those intellectual brains, he used that and he put it together, and it is really sweet. I thought I'll share that with you as a summary. There may be some reading, but it's really sweet. So it says Gita. That is the acronym that I'm going to talk about, G-I-T-A. And each letter here stands for something from this exact chapter. So he says that this chapter 2 is a succulent overview of the Gita's philosophy. It's an overview where Arjuna approaches Krishna in a mood of humility and desperation. That's the point, desperation. And he's really humble. He says, I really want some solution. This is too overwhelming for me. Inviting Krishna to present the most confidential aspect of spiritual wisdom, the science of the self. So Krishna then explains the practical application of such wisdom, like what is the use of having the spiritual wisdom? And he concludes by delineating the symptoms of one who has fully realized such truths. So in this way, Krishna summarizes the spiritual journey from beginning to end. In one sense, however, There is no end to the spiritual journey because this is the point at which life really begins. So this is so sweet. Let me go forward. So G here stands for Guru. So the first 10 verses, we could see that, I will not read the whole thing, but just say a gist of it to say that he was desperate to get the knowledge, and he was humble, and he understood that even though he is so strong and he knows so much from life and he's such a powerful warrior, he could not take a decision. That's how grave the situation was right in front of him. So that's where he surrenders. His own friend, Krishna is his dear friend, but he sees him as the spiritual master whom he can surrender and get knowledge from. So first point, G stands for Guru, that we humbly approach a Guru. We don't challenge, because if we challenge, that means we already know the answer. When we will not challenge, when we are really desperate that please help me, then we fall at the feet of the Guru. So that is the mood that Arjuna shows us here, even though he's such a powerful warrior. So G goes for Guru, and 1 to 10 verses talk about how he surrenders with humility. Now next is I. It says about identity. So after he surrenders, what does Krishna do? So he reveals his identity, that you are not the body, you are the soul, Arjuna. You do not have to lament for this. That soul is never can be killed. It's not born. You cannot be withered by wind. It cannot be burned by fire. He's explaining all that you don't think that you're going to kill your grandfather or your teachers, because soul is eternal. So that knowledge of identity, who is our real identity, Krishna is showing by saying that you are the soul, Arjuna. And T stands for two duties. So now that you know you're the soul, you have to have your duty. So what is that is called? It's called swadharma. That means there is a duty for every duty can be also translated as our nature. So there is a swadharma. That means he is a kshatriya. Your nature is to fight. And you also have a sanatana dharma, because you are the eternal soul. You also have the responsibility to understand that you have to follow the instructions of God. You just don't, so that is like two tracks, Swadharma and Sanatana Dharma. So those are called we saw Guru, identity, and T stands for two duties. That is our Swadharma and Sanatana Dharma. And the last A stands for Atma Rama. So he says, right, how does a man who is self-realized, how does he sit, how does he walk, all that Sthita Prajna Sakha Bhasha questions that Arjuna is asking. So that person who has understood this knowledge of the science of soul, he is called Atma Rama. So that part alone I'm going to read. What is the result for someone who performs such duties with determination and enthusiasm? So Krishna is calling us that please do your duties with determination and enthusiasm. Not that, oh my God, I don't feel like doing it. I don't feel like reading it. I don't feel like cooking today, which happens. But he's saying that it is needed, that enthusiasm is a part of the nature of the soul. It's always enthusiastic. So with enthusiasm and determination and with patience, this journey will be really beautiful. So such a person will become an Atma Rama, a spiritually realized soul who finds pleasure in the self. Krishna explains how the Atma Rama is unaffected by happiness or distress, gain or loss, honor or dishonor, transcending the dualities of this world. Sorry, scrolling slowly. Hare Krishna. Computer skills are not that good. Such a spiritualist rids himself of qualities such as fear, attachment, and anger. So fear, why? If we are fearful that this body is going to die, that means that is the end of it. That's where fear comes, the fear of unknown. Why are we fearful of death? We don't know what's going to happen next. So it's dark. If we have the spiritual knowledge that the soul does not die, then the fear goes away. The attachment, because if we think we are just this human body that we are, if we don't know we had a past and we have a future, then that attachment creates that fear. And because of that attachment, anger comes, because we don't want to lose what we like. So all this is because of not having the knowledge that we are not these bodies, but we are that spirit soul. So that knowledge is being revealed by the Lord, and he remains absorbed in spiritual joy and transcendental consciousness. This is a beautiful part where it says, when I was a 5-year-old, my mother told me that happiness was the key to to life. When I went to school, they asked me what I wanted to be when I grow up. This is a common question everywhere in the school. They would ask us to write or talk about. I wrote down happy. They told me I didn't understand the assignment, and I told them they did not understand life. This is by John Lennon. They just did not understand life. That kid could say that because the mother had instilled these values that happiness was the key to life. And how can we be happy when we know our real nature? That the Jivera Swarupa Hoy Krishnera Dityadas, and this Jiva, this Atma is full of knowledge, eternal bliss, and eternal Ananda. It's the misidentity that we have that causes all this bondage, attachment, fear of losing, and anger, whatnot rises. We all know it. So I hope this summary was of some help in understanding this second chapter. If Krishna could give a summary in the second chapter, then what is he explaining on all that 18 chapters, right? So I can share this PowerPoints, those slides with you all, like how those acronyms, you can understand each chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And it's so amazing when you have a self-study at home to see this. We go through enough problems. We don't have to name it. Corona is not the only problem. Each of us have in our lives our own challenges on a daily basis. We fight with our idle mind, the devil's workshop. So there is no end for that. But Krishna is helping us. So we need help. We have to pick that Bhagavad Gita. We have to read. So he has in every shloka, he's filled with answers. None of us can have problems as severe as Arjuna to kind of kill our own grandparents or to fight with our big family in that way. And he says, I can beg and leave. I don't want that kingdom, which either of us will say, I don't want to do this. But Krishna is, why would God force something that's against the dharma or against the principles to do? Why would God do it? It's his principles. If we understand, his kids are also Kauravas. When he says, all of you are my kids, it includes Kauravas, Pandavas, all the plants, the leaves, the trees, the everything is his kids. Why would he be partial to one and not to another, right? No parents as such are partial. So understanding that, if we read the Gita, we will be able to appreciate the knowledge and the message that Lord Krishna is trying to share with us. With that, I don't want to go beyond the time. I really thank this platform that we have, that we can open up and discuss on the shlokas. Anybody has any reflections or any comments that you would like to make?
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
It was
you.
really good.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Two people are very kind, but I was thinking if there is any reflections or in your own life or just going through the so many years we all have been together. Like I feel like now it's 2 years, almost close to that we have been reading these Bhagavad Gita shlokas, and it's so uplifting. The same message over and over again is so much applicable, so much filled life's lessons. So we are also learning with you all, and it gives us so much joy in sharing.
I just would like to ask, but I'm just a beginner and I don't know, but every time I read and I try to put that concept in the mind and apply that, especially in the second chapter. Today also we read, we heard about how to tolerate the, the success and failure, the pain and pain and pleasure, like the dualities. I remember Prabhuji says that dualities when we read in the regular class also. So for me, it is easy to say than do. I'm in this phase to tolerate both the success and failure at the same time. I don't know how, but I came to know that it is the meaning there, but I don't know how to apply that. For example, 2 weeks before I had an exam in my university, and in one of the course I had a very poor grade, and in another course I had a very good grade. I was very happy when I had the good grade, and I was really upset when I had a bad grade. I cannot apply this now.
So thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Sabitra ji. You've been so open and you're sharing. This is exactly what we want in the Sangha, because most of us are like so many seniors here, they have gone through life, and all of us are traveling in that journey. And we have challenges on a day-to-day basis. And to apply this, what is Krishna trying to say? To be equipoised in both anger, the happiness and distress, and winter like and cold. It's theoretically very nice, but practically, how do we do it? So that's where the knowledge that Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna, like when we have satsangs like this, it emphasizes when you are opening up and asking questions. So we try to say that first thing he says, do the karma kanda, do the duty, whatever you're entitled, do the duty. You are a kshatriya, do your job. And the next level he goes to say that nishkama karma. That is where he says that do your job, but don't expect the results, give the results to me. That is the first not to expect, which is also very high. So as we take examples like as parents, we all, especially mothers, I want to acknowledge here that we all have given birth to kids. It's a pain and pleasure, right? You all agree with me. We had enough kicks, we had sleepless nights, the pregnancy, whatnot complications you can imagine. We did go through, but we had a bigger picture in head. We knew that the kid is more important than the pain that I'm going through, and this pain is temporary. That knowledge is ingrained in us, either by looking at the world, or our parents, or our colleagues, or our friends, good friends, well-wishers, or the books, the knowledge. It was given to us that this is a short period of time of 9 to 10 months, that kind of pain. The pain will change into a different phase of pain, but there will be pleasure also when the baby comes out. So that is the knowledge. With that knowledge, you were able to go through that pain part, appreciating even though it was painful. So this is the Gita knowledge which is lacking. Like we all are behind kind of from our young. We are like, study, get your degree, go ahead. Like that boy said, what do you want to become when you grow up? And he wrote happiness, and the teacher did not appreciate it. So our education, there is problem there, right? Nobody taught us Gita. None of us are teaching our kids that you're not the body or the soul, but we are saying you have to do 2 + 2 is 4. You have to learn that. If you got it wrong, you have failed your life. So the education that we have been kind of thinking as education is not the real education. So we have not got the values and the knowledge of what life is. So it's going to take an effort. Like if you have to, like now that you have moved to, like you're in this Canada country, and if you did not know baking, or if you did not know something about the culture of Canadians, you have to put effort to learn that. So similarly, but for those who are born in Canada, they would just know that, and any Westerners, they would just know how to bake, but not us, because that was not what we came from, or what we learned, or what we saw. So similarly, the spiritual knowledge was not taught so openly in the houses, and it was not moved on, like it was not given to us so easily, not in the school, not in the household. So now it's so new. So now we are getting theory, and then the practical lab is when we discuss like this, that, oh Krishna, today I did my exams, I want to try my best, that what can I do as a student, as a studying? I'll try my best to do my work, but if the results came good, I'm going to offer it to you. That thank you so much, you helped me, but this one I really tried, but I really messed up, I don't know what happened. I'm sorry, I'm going to try again. So when we go and put that paper in front of Krishna and say, please guide me forward, then at least from the heart, you have moved it out to him. Okay, I did my part. Now it's the Lord's plan, whatever it is, let me move on. Not just with that exams, there is more to go in life, I'm pretty sure. Not everything goes by our plan, since we are not the controllers in the first place. Yeah. So thank you. I hope what I said makes some sense, but slowly, don't give up hope. Krishna is very merciful.
Thank you so much.
Any other reflections on life?
Harini and Raj, I think both gurus, you compliment so nicely. This is, we read it individually, like, and then when you put together, it's a different perspective for me. Thank you for both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
So we thank everyone for joining us for this Saturday sessions, and we look forward for more such happy sessions with you all. getting to learn from Lord Krishna himself. Jai.
Thank you. Thank you,
I
Mataji.
really
Thank you,
like
Prabhu.
it.
Hare Krishna. Dandavad Pranam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.